So good morning and welcome to Breaking Dawn this morning. Of course, my name is Stephen Reese and we are here until 8 o'clock. We have Seth Wyola board on with us today, and of course I will be in the second hour. And we're going to get into the news and what's popping in the news, things like that very soon. And as we start the show today, I gotta say, but Chris, I was listening to the interview with Minister Watts that we did on Saturday. Boy, that scene with the CPL that he talked about, that's a big one too, right? So we're gonna go through those are going through it, and I want to give already full interview on Friday. So for those of you, if you want information as to the kind of work that's going on in the Ministry of Sport, amidst all the noise, right? I see certain opposition MPs and them talking about sport at the lowest and sport this, and they didn't care about sport and all kind of thing. Friday, we're going to hear that interview with Minister Watts, where he spoke on almost everything you could think about. And what he didn't speak about is because we didn't have time to talk about it. Because it was supposed to be a 20-minute interview, and it turned out to be an hour and 13 minutes. Right? But there's a lot of important information inside of there that you will get an idea of the direction that they are heading in, right? Which is a very positive direction, all right? And as a matter of fact, one of the topics this morning, or the topic this morning that we will get to, because we have two interviews this morning. The other, we have Mina House coming in, the chef from Mina House coming in. They have a whole event coming up this weekend for Indian Arrival Day. It's a culinary type of affair, culinary and fashion and things like that, and entertainment. We're gonna get you in gear with that. As a matter of fact, let me just give already the name of the event, right? I'll give already the name of the event. They'll be here at 7:05, so we're gonna find out more about that event. The Agman Indian Festival. All right, remember this weekend is Indian Arrival Day, so a lot of stuff happening, and they're going to talk on it, and we're going to get more information on it. All right, so let's get into the news very quickly here so that we can get to the topic at hand. Trust the process. All right, we're going with the headlines, gentlemen. Right, so trust the process. Attorney for Joshua Samaru's family urges the public to let the law take its course while expressing confidence in the office of the DPP. Now, this is extremely important because the article that I read from yesterday, where Joshua Samaru's family has taken a step back and said, hey, based on the information given to us by our lawyer, which is Kristen Williams, we kind of leaning towards these allegations against the girl. And now the lawyer comes out and he says to trust the process, right? And he is not only saying to trust the process. Remember I was telling that all of that yesterday? You have the natural course of justice. All the protests that they protested on Sunday, nobody has found her guilty or innocent of any act. All that has happened is in the natural course of justice. The police have run an investigation. The evidence has been provided to the DPP. The DPP has said, this is the person that you need to charge, and he has directed the police to do so. And on that advice, they will charge and issue whatever warrants, right? Good. But she's charged. And if the evidence doesn't stand up, she'll be found innocent. And all of this hullabaloo, and the police will be found wanting. And then we could get into that discussion. But all this hullabaloo, all this drama, all this noise, everything that's taking place now, and I understand why. Some people are hurt, some people are frustrated, some people, But you have to let the natural course of justice take its course. And the confidence being expressed in the office of the DPP is another thing that we have to take into consideration. Because the DPP is no madman. He might get trouble from time to time, but he is no madman. And really and truly, don't get no big set of trouble. Right? It's just that he holding our office very, very long. Right? But all in all, he has never made impulsive decisions, right? He's always been very measured in the way that he makes his decisions and things like that, right? And if the police didn't have, if the evidence was not enough, he would have tell them, go back and, or they're not near, go back and try again. This is a waste of time. So, we have to see. Now, unfortunately, as I mentioned yesterday, the DPP could have come and quiet some of this noise, but the DPP really and truly does not hold press conferences. And I don't see him doing it now. So, at the end of the day, they could protest 19 times. It is going to the court. Nothing is going to stop that protest. You could come and pound the pavement 19 more times or 18 more times. You have one down Sunday, they say 19 protests for 19 bullets or some kind of thing. So you can pound the pavement 18 more times. It is not going to stop the matter from reaching the court. At which point in time, a decision will be made at the end of the trial. All right? So, that's that. Of course, this whole Joshua Samaru issue has raised the antness again, the repetitive call of stakeholders calling for the use of body cameras. Let me tell you something, eh? Remember I tell all you, this show that I do, this job that I do, coming here, waking up 4 a.m. every morning, sometimes losing sleep, right? To come here and do a show for 12 years. Breaking Dawn is in its 12th year as of this month, right? This weekend marks the 12th year of Breaking Dawn, all right? Now, I'm not one for anniversaries and things like that, all right? I just mentioned 10 year, 11 year, 12th year, month of May. And I have mentioned before that for 12 years, every time I come here, we're talking about the same thing. No change, no real change in conversation or topics. So if you give me a chance, I come here and talk sports all day. Cocker talk that too. Right? I don't think it have anything that in the 12 years that I have not spoken on. I've spoken on politics, I've spoken on social issues, I've spoken on on health issues during the pandemic. I've spoken on sports, crime. It's not anything I haven't spoken about, right? Community development, you name it. I have spoken on it. And the conversations have always been the same. And here we are again. Another call for body cameras. Well, I can tell you all, I was going through the paper yesterday, and there is an advertisement out for bids to come for a tendering process for body cameras for the TTBS. So that's in motion, and we'll see where that goes. But the police do wear body cameras. Which police wearing it? What unit they attached to? How much cameras they have, as opposed to how much police on duty, I can't speak to that. But I have seen body cameras being worn by police officers currently. All right? I don't know how many, but obviously there is not enough. PM pays tribute to former NAR Minister Herbert Atwell. Government issues an EOI for e-passport system amid public outrage. Now, that passport issue is becoming a very frustrating one. People have been applying for an appointment to either get a passport or have a passport renewed. And what used to take weeks is now taking months. Yep. So they got to fix that, because next year I had to renew mine. And I ain't waiting no months for no appointment, I can tell you that. right? That'd be unacceptable. And nobody should have to wait months for a passport renewal. So whatever is the problem, right? As a matter of fact, let me just read a little bit of it, because let me see if they have this. One day after, the Sunday Guardian published an article stating that booking an e-appointment for a passport on the Ministry of Homeland Security website takes as long as 6 months. The ministry issued an expression of interest for suitably qualified entities to upgrade its passport portal. Now, if that is the issue, and it's a portal upgrade, the Minister of Public Administration and AI, which would be Dominic Smith, should be the minister. It should be connected. So Homeland Security is tasked with overseeing passports, right? It falls under Homeland Security. So if you have a passport portal issue, there has to be a connectivity between Homeland Security and Public Administration and AI, just as there was that connection took place when we saw that they moved this, they got rid of the written departure and arrival forms, and it is now online. That was a partnership or a combination of the Homeland Security Ministry and Public Administration and AI. The same should apply here. Because since we left in April, people have been getting that problem where they have to wait months to get an appointment. All right? I know somebody went to get they went to get an appointment and they give them quite September. And that was in April. That is May, June, July, August, September. 5 months. Should not wait 5 months. All right? Like, okay, when I have to, now the reason why I mentioned my passport is because we travel regularly. So if next year come, my passport expires in August, right? I would have to apply for the renewal or whatever. So you're trying to tell me that I will have to apply for the renewal in February or March, right? To get a date, hopefully before it expires in August. You understand what I'm saying? It's supposed to be weak. So whatever is the problem with the portal, fix it. And I was talking, while we're on portals, I have been talking about, remember I mentioned the portal for the landlord tax registration, right? We have people abroad, they have homes here that they rent out, things like that. They're willing to pay the tax, they want to regularize themselves, and yet they were having trouble with the portal. So I don't know if that has been rectified. I will reach out to the relative authorities and find out. But these are systems that need to be fixed so that things are running smooth, all right? Gonzalez going after Barry over WASA hiring claims. All right, as the public utilities minister continues to face questions from the media over questionable hiring practices at WASA, Opposition Chief Whip Marvin Gonzalez is warning Barry Padarat that he is coming after him when Parliament resumes. In fact, Gonzalez yesterday cautioned Padarat that he has more information to reveal. Well, so be it. Let's see what comes out to the public space. I think Barry Padarat did respond, although I read his response, and it's better he just didn't respond because, I mean, I thought that he didn't really say anything to address the information that has been put in the public space. But we will get to that after the break. All right? We'll get to that. We'll get to those